The rain hammered the tin roof like God's own judgment. Each drop a reminder that secrets don't drown easy in a town like Willow Creek. I stood there in the doorway of the old barn, soaked to the bone, watching Dylan pack his duffel bag with the kind of deliberate slowness that screams goodbye. "Austin," he said, voice cracking like thunder in the distance. "I never meant for it to end like this, but it has to." That was the night everything shattered. But it started months earlier, back when Willow Creek still felt like home instead of cage. I'm Austin Hayes, 25 years old, born and raised in this speck of Midwest dust where cornfields stretch like endless regrets and Sunday sermons warn against sins you can't pray away. My folks run the local feed store, Dad with his calloused hands and Mom with her Bible verses etched into every conversation. They love me fierce, the way only small-town parents can. But love like that comes with blinders. They think I'm just particular about girls, the kind of guy who'll settle down with a nice one from church someday. Truth is, I've been carrying this weight since high school. When I realized the way my heart raced wasn't for cheerleaders, but for the quarterback's quiet smile in the locker room. Dylan Reeves blew into town like a storm off Lake Michigan, all sharp edges and city polish. He was 26, with that effortless cool from Chicago, tattoos peeking from his flannel sleeves, a beat-up Ford truck that had seen better days, and eyes like storm clouds that could pull you under. He'd come to Willow Creek to flip the old mill on the river, turning it into some boutique hotel for tourists chasing authentic Americana. Folks whispered about him. Outsider, fancy ideas, probably liberal as hell. Me? I was the local boy helping with the Reno crew, hauling lumber and keeping my head down. Our first real talk was over lukewarm coffee at the diner, him sketching blueprints while I fixed a leaky faucet under the counter. "You're wasting your talent on this podunk joint," he said, not looking up from his napkin doodles. "Ever think about getting out?" I laughed it off, wiping grease from my hands. "And go where? This is home. Corn and kin. That's the deal." But something in his voice hooked me, the loneliness wrapped in bravado. By week's end, we were grabbing beers after shifts, talking late into the night about everything and nothing. He told me about growing up in a high-rise with parents who lawyered for corporations, holidays spent in sterile hotel suites. "They loved me," he said once, staring into his bottle, "but they never saw me." "Not really," I nodded, because I knew that ache too well. My turn, the time I almost came out to Mom after Dad's heart scare, only to chicken out when she prayed over me like I was the one broken. It escalated slow, the way these things do in places where prying eyes are everywhere. A brush of hands under the truck hood turned into lingering touches in the mill's shadowed corners. One night, after a brutal hailstorm tore up the fields, we ended up at my place, folks out at a revival meeting. The power was out, candles flickering like guilty confessions. We sat on the sagging couch, shoulders touching, the air thick with unspoken want. "Austin," he murmured, turning to me, "you ever feel like you're living half a life?" My throat tightened. "Every damn day." Then he kissed me. Not tentative, like I'd imagined in my weakest moments, but hungry, like he'd been starving for it. His hands in my hair, my fingers gripping his shirt. It was messy, real, the kind of kiss that rewires your soul. We didn't go further than that. Not then. But from there, it was stolen moments, drives down back roads with the radio low, hikes up to the bluffs where the river bends like a secret. He'd pull over, draw me close, and whisper things that made my chest ache, promises of someday, when we could be us without the hiding. Willow Creek wasn't ready for us, though. Or maybe I wasn't. The town had its rhythms, Friday fish fries, high school games where the bleachers buzzed with gossip. My best friend since diapers, Jake, worked the line at the factory and married his high school sweetheart last year. He ribbed me constant about finding a girl, oblivious to the truth gnawing at me. Dylan's crew was a mix, locals like me, plus a couple wanderers he'd brought from the city. There was Marco, the electrician with a laugh like gravel, who eyed Dylan a little too long for comfort, and Lena, the designer, sharp-tongued and suspicious of small-town charm. The first crack came subtle. A week after that kiss, I overheard Jake at the bar. That new guy's got eyes for trouble. Heard he's one of them, you know, the city types. My stomach dropped, but I played it cool. Just here to make a buck. Man, inside, panic clawed. Dylan and I had rules. No PDA, no slips. But rules bend under pressure. Fall hit hard that year, leaves turning the hills to fire. We stole a weekend at the old cabin upstate, his investment property he called it, but really just an excuse to breathe free. No town, no eyes. We chopped wood till our arms burned, cooked chili over an open flame, and talked till dawn. That's when he opened up about his ex. Back in Chicago. Evan, he said, poking the fire. Thought he was the one. We had this life planned, adopting the whole picket fence. Then I found out he'd been sleeping around, lying to my face for months. Left me wrecked. Austin. Made me question everything. I pulled him close. Heart pounding. I'm not him. I see you, all of you. His eyes softened, and he kissed my temple. I know. That's why this scares me shitless. That night, under a quilt that smelled of pine and him, he said it. You're shivering. The wind howled outside, rattling the windows, but it was his arms around me that chased the cold away. We lay there, tangled and safe, his breath steady against my neck. It was the most romantic moment of my life, not fireworks, but quiet certainty. Firelight danced on the walls, casting shadows like promises we could keep forever. Back in Willow Creek, reality bit. The mill project hit snags, permits delayed, budget overruns. Dylan worked longer hours, coming home to his rented trailer exhausted, smelling of sawdust and stress. I'd sneak over after dark, slipping through the backyard like a thief. Our talks turned heavier. What if we left? Chicago for him. Maybe Seattle for me. I'd always dreamed of graphic design classes, but fear glued me here. Then the bomb dropped. Mom found an old photo in my truck glove box, me and Dylan at the Bluffs. Arms slung casual, but too close. She didn't say a word at first. Just sat on the kitchen table with my coffee. Who's this? Honey. Her voice was sugar over steel. Just a buddy from work, I lied. Throat dry. She nodded slow, eyes searching. Looks like more than that. You know we love you, Austin. But the Bible. I know. Ma. I cut her off, grabbing my keys. That night, I drove to Dylan's, pounding the door till he yanked it open. Hair wild. What's wrong? I shoved the photo at him. She found this. What if she digs? He pulled me inside, locking the door. Then we tell her. Together. But I recoiled. You don't get it. This town's not Chicago. They'd crucify us. His face hardened. So we run? Or we fight? We didn't decide that night. Instead, we fought each other, words like knives. He accused me of cowardice. I threw his privilege back. The outsider who could leave anytime. By morning, I stormed out, vowing space. Days blurred into silence. Jake cornered me at the store. You and that city boy beefing? Town's talking. Saw you two at the river. My blood iced. Mind your business. But rumors spread like wildfire. Lena pulled Dylan aside during a site meeting. I overheard from the rafters. He's using you. Dill. Small-town boys play games till they're bored. I froze, ladder creaking under me. Was that what she thought? Or worse? What if it was true for him? The misunderstanding festered. I started avoiding the mill, picking up extra shifts at the feed store. Dylan texted once, "We need to talk." I deleted it, heart splintering. Then came the party, Halloween bash at the VFW hall. Whole town crammed in with plastic pumpkins and bad punch. I want to show face, prove I was fine. Dylan was there, cornered by Marco, who slung an arm around him, too familiar. Laughter, a shared beer, innocent, maybe, but in my raw state, it looked like betrayal. I confronted him in the parking lot, gravel crunching under boots. "Who's that?" "Your Chicago replacement." Dylan's eyes flashed. "Marco?" He's straight. "Austin." "Jesus. You're paranoid. Am I? Or are you just waiting to bolt when the project's done?" He stepped close, voice low. "This isn't about him. It's about you hiding us like a dirty secret." I shoved him, not hard, but enough. "Get out if that's how you see it." He didn't. Not then. But the seed was planted. Weeks later, the real storm hit. Dad collapsed at the store, hard again. Worse this time. Hospital smells and beeping machines. Mom praying nonstop. Dylan showed up with flowers, but I waved them off in the hall. "Not now." His face crumpled. "I'm here for you. Go. Please." He left, but not before whispering, "This isn't over." It felt like it was. Recovery dragged. Dad homebound. Me running the store solo. Dylan finished the mill. Grand opening buzzing with outsiders. I skipped it, holding up with regrets. Then Jake dropped the truth bomb over coffee. Heard Dylan's packing. Got a call from some firm back east. Big offer. Didn't mention you. My world tilted. Betrayal. Sharp as glass. He lied. Planned to leave without a word. I raced through his trailer. Rain sheeting down. That's when I found him, duffel half-packed. Face ashen. "Austin, you're leaving." "After everything." He shook his head. "It's not what you think. The offer's real." But I turned it down. For us. Lies. I saw the ticket stub on the counter. Chicago. Next week. Then what's this? His silence damned him. We yelled till hoarse. Accusations flying. "You used me." I screamed. Small town experiment till boredom hit. "That's not." He reached for me, but I jerked back. "Save it. We're done." I fled into the storm. Rain mixing with tears. Willow Creek blurred past. A prison of my making. How had we gone from that cabin warmth to this? The hook of it all. His voice in the rain. "Austin. Wait." But I didn't. Not then. Days bled into weeks. Each one a gray slog under Willow Creek's winter bite. The mill opening was a hit. Tourists snapping pics of the river view. Locals toasting Dylan's vision. I heard about it from Jake, who clapped my shoulder like I hadn't just lost my anchor. "You should have gone." "Man." Place looked sharp. I mumbled something non-committal, stacking feed bags till my back screamed. Work was my drug now, numbing the ache that bloomed every time I caught a whiff of sawdust or saw a truck like his rumbling down Main. Mom noticed. Of course. She cornered me in the kitchen one evening, flour dusted from pie crusts. Eyes soft but probing. "You've been off since your daddy's spell." And that photo. "Austin, if there's something you need to say." "There's not." The words tasted like ash. I couldn't burden her, not with Dad's Bible on the nightstand, open to Leviticus like a warning. She sighed. "Bottom my haunt. We're family. No secret's too big for God's grace." Grace. If only it felt that way. That night, alone in my room, I scrolled old texts from Dylan. "Miss your laugh. Can't wait for the bluffs again." Each one a knife twist. Why had I pushed him? Fear. Yeah, but also that gnawing doubt. Was I enough? Small town boy with calluses and no escape plan. Versus his big city dreams. The real gut punch came mid-December, snow blanketing the fields like a shroud. Lena stopped by the store, bundled in a wool coat that screamed urban chic. She bought a bag of rock salt, casual as you please, but her eyes pinned me. Heard you and Dylan imploded. Sucks. I stiffened, ringing her up. Town talk. She leaned in, voice low. More than that. He confided in me about Evan, the ex. Said you reminded him too much. The hiding. Made him bolt. My chest caved. So it was true. I was a ghost of his past. A safe harbor till the waves crashed. Good for him. Lena's gaze softened, almost pitying. He's not leaving yet. Project's wrapping, but he's sticking for the holidays. Maybe talk it out. I shook my head, shoving change across the counter. Water under the bridge, but it wasn't. Christmas Eve, the town glowed with lights, strings draped over lampposts, carols piping from the square. I volunteered at the shelter, serving turkey to folks down on luck, trying to outrun the loneliness. Jake and his wife dragged me to midnight mass after, pews packed with familiar faces. And there, 3 rows up, was Dylan, head bowed in prayer, profile sharp in candlelight. My heart stuttered, fury, longing, all tangled. After, in the crisp air, he caught me by the church steps. Snowflakes caught in his hair like stars. Austin, can we? No. I sidestepped, breath fogging. Just hear me out. The ticket? It was Evan's, old one I kept. Stupid reminder. I shredded it months ago. Lies again? Or truth? Lena's words echoed. Poisoning it. Doesn't matter. We're poison. You and me. His hand grazed my arm. Electric. We were good. Remember the cabin? I yanked away, voice breaking. That was before I knew I was your rebound. His face drained. Rebound? Christ. Austin, you're the first real thing since. Save it. I walked away, boots crunching snow, leaving him silhouetted against the nativity scene. Baby Jesus watching like he judged us both. New Year's brought the storm, literal and not. Winds howled off the plains, power lines snapping like brittle bones. Folks hunkered down, but I got called to the mill, leaking the new roof. Dylan's baby project at risk. I trudged through drifts, flashlight cutting the dark, cursing my luck. He was there already, cursing up a ladder, tools scattered. What are you doing here? He yelled over the gale. Store sent me. Fix what I can. We worked in tense silence, patching tarps. Rain, now sleet, stinging like accusations. Halfway up, thunder cracked, lightning forking the sky. The ladder bucked. I slipped, foot finding nothing. Strong arms caught me, Dylan's, hauling me back. We tumbled to the loft in a heap, soaked and gasping. You idiot, he panted, pinning me against hay bales. Could have killed yourself. Our faces inches apart, breath mingling hot. The air charged, not just storm. Let go, I whispered, but my body betrayed me. Leaning in, he didn't. Instead, his lips brushed mine, tentative, then fierce. I kissed back, desperate, hands fisting his wet shirt. It was fire in the cold, all the pent-up hurt pouring out. We broke apart, foreheads touching, sleet drumming the roof. I'm sorry, he murmured. For Evan, for not fighting harder. But you're not him. You're you, stubborn, kind, the guy who makes this town bearable. Tears mixed with rain on my cheeks. I saw the ticket. Lena said, Lena? She doesn't know shit. She projected her own baggage. He cupped my face. I love you, Austin. Not as a placeholder. As my future, love. The word hung, terrifying and true. I nodded, shattering. I love you too. God, I do. We held on as the storm raged. Whispering plans, telling my folks. Maybe his. Dawn broke gray, but we drove back together, hands linked over the gear shift. Willow Creek looked different, softer. But peace is fleeting in places like this. January thawed the snow. Unearthed secrets. Dad's old buddy, Harlan, the town gossip with a sheriff's badge, pulled me aside at the diner. Heard whispers about you and Reeves. Folks saying unnatural things. Watch yourself. Boy, my gut twisted. Mind your lane. Harlan, he smirked. Just looking out. Town's got standards. Dylan felt it too, subtle cuts. Trucks idling too long outside the mill. Whispers at the gas station. We doubled down on caution. But love makes fools. One night, post-shift, we risked the bluffs, picnic under stars. Blanket spread like that cabin memory. He pulled me close, murmuring poetry he'd scribbled. Silly lines about cornfield constellations. You're shivering, he said, wrapping the blanket around us. It was magic again, his warmth seeping in, world fading to just us. Until headlights pierced the dark. Jake's truck, engine rumbling. He stumbled out, half drunk, eyes wild. Austin? What the hell? Panic surged. Dylan tensed. Easy, man. But Jake lunged, grabbing my collar. You queer? With him? After all we've. I shoved free. Back off. Fists flew. Jake's wild swing clipping Dylan's jaw. I tackled him, rolling in dirt. Please mixing with grunts. Stop. He's my friend. Sirens wailed distant. Someone called it in. Cops hauled Jake away. Bloodied lip and slurs spilling. Dylan iced his bruise in my truck. Silent. This is what I meant, he said finally. The cost. I gripped the wheel white-knuckled. We'll weather it. But the town turned. Boycotts hit the mill. Family values flyers tacked to doors. Mom confronted me that week. Photo in hand again. Tears streaking. Is it true? My boy. With a man. I broke then. Spilling it all. The hiding. The love. The fear. She hugged me fierce. Sobbing. Oh, Austin. Why didn't you trust us? Dad was quieter. Weeks later in his recliner. Bible says one thing. Heart another. I choose heart. Son, their grace cracked my walls. But Dylan's held firm, stubborn Midwestern stock. We went public slow, handholds at the diner, invites to family dinner. Whispers lingered, but some shifted. Lena apologized over coffee, admitting her poison stemmed from her own closet days. Then the betrayal struck, sharpest yet. February. A letter arrived at the store, anonymous. Typed crisp. Inside, photos. Us at the bluffs. Kissing. Stolen shots. Timestamps from months back. And a note. Leave town or these go viral. Protect your family. My hand shook. Who? Jake out on bail. Seething. Or Harlan. Grudge deep. Dylan saw my face. Snatched the envelope. We burn this. And we stay. But fear clawed back. What if they hurt you? The mill. You pull me close. Then we fight together. We traced it, subtle questions. Jake denying hot. Turns out, Marco, jealous of Dylan's focus on me, nursing his own unrequited crush, had tailed us. Snap pics for leverage. Confronted. He crumbled, begging forgiveness. Dylan fired him clean. No drama. The high came sweet, spring budding. Us stronger. We planned a road trip. Chicago first. Tasting freedom. But shadows loomed. Dad's health dipped again. I wavered on leaving. Dylan pushed. Don't anchor here for guilt. Guilt. The word festered. Late April. Alone in the trailer. I found his laptop open, email chain with Evan. Miss you. Come back. Recent. Flirty. Heart stopped. I scrolled. Austin's great. But not you. Lies. All of it. I confronted him at the mill. Printouts crumpled in fist. How long? Dylan's confusion melted to horror. What? Evan hacked my old account. I blocked him years ago. Proof? None quick. Rage blinded. You're a liar. Always were. He reached. I swung. Fist glancing his shoulder. Get out. He did. Eyes shattered. This misunderstanding will kill us. It nearly did. I drove blind, crashing into a ditch, minor, but cops came. Mom bailed me. Face ashen. For God's sake. Austin. Talk to him. I did. Days later. At the cabin, neutral ground. He waited on the porch. Gaunt. Evan's in jail. Fraud bust. Sent that to hurt me. Knowing about you. Truth washed over. Bitter. I collapsed into him. Apologies tumbling. I almost lost you. We almost lost us. He held tight. But here we are. Summer bloomed. Willow Creek grudgingly accepting. Jake apologized. Therapy bound. The mill thrived. Us its quiet stewards. That fall. Anniversary marked at the Bluffs. Blanket. Stars. His voice. You're shivering. Laughter now. Not tears. But life's no fairy tale. Dylan's folks visited. Stiff suits in our dust. Thawing slow over barbecue. Mine grilled them on intentions. Dad's gruff humor easing ice. We built something real. Flawed but ours. The end? Not tidy. I started design classes online. He mentored locals. Town shifted. Pride flag at the mill. Subtle but proud. We fight still, fears. Old ghosts, but wake tangled. Grateful. That rainy night in a barn, he didn't leave. Instead, he dropped the bag. Pull me close. I'm staying. For this. And damn if it didn't feel like home. Wait, no. That barn night was the real unraveling. The one that tested if love bends or breaks. Looking back, after the cabin reconciliation, we'd lulled ourselves into thinking we'd won. Willow Creek's whispers had dulled to murmurs, like white noise you learn to ignore. Jake was in counseling, showing up awkward at barbecues with a six-pack and sheepish grins. Making amends. Bro, he'd say, clapping my back too hard. Lena became an unlikely ally, designing our official mill logo with rainbow accents hidden in the wheat sheaf. Even Harlan grumbled less, though his patrol car still slowed by Dylan's trailer like a bad habit. But peace is fragile as new corn shoots, and ours got trampled come harvest. Dad's heart acted up again, not fatal, but enough for stints and strict orders. Rest. Diet. No stress. Mom fretted like a hen, enlisted me full-time at the store. Dylan pitched in too, stocking shelves in his work boots. Charming customers with tales of the mill's haunted history, pure bunk. But it sold feed. Folks warmed, old misses. Whitaker even slipped him an extra slice of shoe-fly pie. Whispering, good man, that one, we stole joy where we could. Friday nights became ritual, drive-in movies at the edge of town, tails tucked under quilts, his hand in mine as black and white horrors flickered. If zombies come, he'd tease, nuzzling my ear. I'll trip Jake first. I'd laugh. Chest light, forgetting the weight. Sex? We kept it tender. Private, no rush. Just skin and sighs in the dark. Building trust brick by brick. Then the secret surfaced, ugly as roadkill. It started with a call, Dylan's phone buzzing during dinner at my folks'. He stepped out, voice low. Urgent. I caught fragments. Can't now. Keep it quiet. Austin doesn't know. My fork clattered, Mom shot worried glances. When he returned, flushed, I pressed in the kitchen later. Who? Old client. Nothing. Evasive. Eyes sliding away. Doubt crept. Insidious. Was it Evan? Ghosts rising? Or worse, someone new? I tailed him once. Juvenile as hell. To the mill after hours. Lights on in the office, shadows moving. Heart hammering. I peered through grimy window. Dylan. Pacing. On speaker with. Marco. The fired electrician. Voice tinny. You owe me. Reeves. Those pics? I kept copies. Pay up or they hit the net. Blackmail. Again? But why hide? Rage boiled. I burst in. Door slamming. What the fuck? Dylan whirled. Pale. Austin, get out. This is... Marco? After everything. I snatched the phone. You slimy bastard. Laughter crackled. Tell him. Dill. About the deal. Dylan's shoulders slumped. He helped with the Reno. Off books. I owed him labor. Not cash. The pics were his insurance. I was handling it quiet. To protect us. Protect us? Or protect himself? By lying? Again, Marco chimed. Asked him about the side gig. Chicago calls. Pretty boy. Line dead. Dylan lunged for it. But I backed away. Side gig. Silence stretched. Broken only by crickets outside. Before you, I consulted for a firm. Old ties. They want me back. Full time. I said no. But Marco knows. And you didn't tell me. Betrayal stung fresh. Old wounds reopening. Am I just a local fling holding you here? No. He closed the gap. Hands up. It's guilt, Dad's health. Your roots. I didn't want to pressure. Pressure? It felt like chains. We argued till hoarse. Voices echoing off exposed beams. You decide for us? Like I'm fragile. I yelled. You're not, but this town is. He gestured wild. Harlan's circling. Jake's barely stable. One wrong move. I laughed bitter. So we hide forever? That's not love. Dylan. That's prison. He deflated, sinking to the desk. Maybe you're right. Maybe I am running from Evan. From failure. From this. The admission gutted me. I left. Door clicking soft behind, final as a coffin lid. Outside, autumn wind whipped leaves like accusations. Drove to the bluffs. Alone. Staring at the river's black ribbon. Memories flooded. First kiss. Cabin warmth. That blanket pull. How we frayed so quick. Town noticed the chill. Mom cornered me at breakfast. You two fighting? He looked peaky at church. I shrugged it off. But she persisted, wise eyes narrowing. Love's work? Son. Don't quit easy. Dad chimed from the table. Listen to your ma. I almost lost her once, stubborn pride. Cost me years. Their words burrowed. But pride armored me. I threw into work. Sketching logos for the store on lunch breaks. Whimsical cows with tool belts. Dreams of more. Jake showed up one afternoon. Contrite. Heard your solo. My fault. Yours and mine. I sighed, handing him a coffee. Marco's stirring shit again. His jaw tightened. That prick. Wanting to handle. Tempting. But no. We gotta do better. No more fists. He nodded. Fist bump tentative. Proud of you. Man. Taquine the hard road. Hard road indeed. Dylan gave space. But notes appeared. Coffee? Neutral ground. I ignored. Till the mill's holiday party. Mandatory for crew. I went for show. Nursing his soda in the corner. He arrived late. Suit crisp. Eyes scanning till they locked on mine. Across the room. Tension hummed like live wire. Lena played buffer. Dragging us to the punch bowl. Truce. Boys. Town's watching. Small talk stuttered weather. Crops, till she wandered. Silence fell heavy. I'm sorry, he started, for deciding alone. It's my flaw, fixing shit solo. Like Dad taught. I swallowed. And mine, assuming the worst. Evan's shadows long. We talked real then. Raw edges bared. His Chicago pull, security, escape. My anchor, family, but also growth, classes enrolling me part-time at community college. Maybe we compromise, I said. You consult remote. I build here. Hope flickered in his eyes. Together, a nod. We slipped out early, to the porch overlooking the river, lights twinkling like fallen stars. He draped his jacket over my shoulders. You're shivering. Voice husky. Arms following. We kissed slow, river murmuring approval. It felt like mending, threads weaving tighter. But fate's a cruel joker. January brought Harlan's raid, anonymous tip on code violations at the mill. Cops swarmed at dawn. Dylan rousted in boxers. Me racing over in pajamas. Turnout bullshit. Marco's final spite. Planting fake docs. But the damage? Rep on the line. Investors spooked. Dylan cracked under it. Late night pacing I heard through thin walls. This place chews you up. Don't, I warned. Pulling him to bed. We're tougher, were we? February's freeze tested. Dad's checkup clear. But Mom's health dipped, stress manifesting as migraines. I juggled. Dylan supported, but cracks showed, snapped words over dinner. Silence as thick as fog. The misunderstanding peaked absurd. A weekend getaway. Our makeup trip to Chicago. His old haunt. Train ride buzzed excitement. City lights dazzled after Willow's dim. We crashed at his buddy's loft. Toured galleries. Ate deep dish till stuffed. Night 2. Bar hopping. He vanished to the John. Minutes stretched, panic nipped. I searched, found him in alley, arguing hushed with a stranger. Evan. Gaunt. Eyes feral post-jail. You owe me. Dill. For the lies. I stormed in. Back off. Evan sneered. Who's this? Your hick toy. Dylan shoved him away. Walk. Evan. We're done. But Evan lunged. Grabbing Dylan's collar. Twist. And my fist connected. Instinct. Cop sirens wailed. We bolted. Hearts pounding. Laughing manic in the cab back. Hero, Dylan teased. Kissing knuckles. But seed planted. Was Evan done? Or lurking? Back home. Paranoia bloomed. Dylan distant. Phone glued. I snooped. Innocent text to his mom. But one from unknown. Miss our talks. Come alone. E. Rage exploded. Confrontation at the trailer. Evan again? Well, I'm playing house. It's nothing. He wants closure. Therapy referral. Dylan pleaded. Liar. Old photos resurfaced in my mind. Trust Ash. Leave. Before you drag me under. He packed slow. Eyes wet. This is the misunderstanding killing us. Believe me, I couldn't. Door shut. Truck roared away. Willow Creek swallowed him, leaving echo. The emptiness hit like a Midwest winter, bone deep, relentless. Dylan's trailer sat dark on the edge of town. For sale sign hammered crooked by March winds. I avoided it. But Willow Creek's small, paths cross inevitable. First sighting, him at the gas station, filling the Ford. Eyes down. Our gazes snagged. He nodded curt. Drove off. My chest caved. Pump handle forgotten till it clicked empty. Mom saw through the facade. Call him. Austin. Pride's a cold bedfellow. Dad grunted agreement from his paper. Man's worth fighting for ain't measured in miles. But how? I'd push him out. Assumption's my weapon. Jake tried brokering. He's crashing at the motel, wrapping loose ends. Says he's heading west, Portland. Maybe, west. Like shedding skin, starting fresh without me. I dove deeper into classes, graphic design online. Pixels my escape. Sketched feverishly. Abstract hearts cracked, but mending. Cornstalks entwined with city skylines. Lena reviewed one over lunch. Raw. Submit it. Local art fair. Distraction. Sure. But spark something. Purpose beyond pain. April bloomed cruel. Dogwoods mocking with pink cheer. The fair set up in the square, booths. Bluegrass twanging, drew crowds. I held my pieces last. Nerves jangling. Then he appeared, Dylan. In faded jeans. Lingering by abstracts. Heart slammed, I approached. Voice steady as I could muster. Nice work. Thanks. Awkward shuffle. Portland. He shrugged. Thinking. Mills sold, good price. Clean slate. Envy pricked. But mostly ache. Deserve it. After. Everything. His eyes searched. You believe me now? About Evan. A nod. Throat tight. Check the number. Wrong. Area code. My bad. Relief washed his face. Then why? Can't lose you again. Words tumbled. Fears of inadequacy. Town chains. Love's fragility. He listened, then pulled a sketch from his jacket. Our bluffs. Blanket draped. Labeled Shivering. Made this. Therapy homework. Grin wry. Thought it'd say what I can't. Tears blurred. Stay? Try again. He hesitated. Wind tousling hair. Only if we're all in. No half measures. We were. Public now. Walks hand in hand down Main. Brunches with folks, his parents zooming awkward approvals. Town grumbled. Harlan's glares. Church pew gaps, but allies grew. Jake hosted a recommitment barbecue. Ribs smoking. Toast slur but sincere. To stubborn bastards, he raised his beer. Winking. Challenges lingered. Dylan's wanderlust nipped. We compromised quarterly city jaunts. Me tagging for inspiration. My designs took off. Mill logo licensed statewide. Whispers of freelance. Dad's health stabilized. Mom joining a support group for families like us. Grace. Real this time. Summer solstice. We revisited the cabin. Anniversary redux. Hike bluffs at dawn. River sparkling. Picnic spread. Chili. Pie. Blanket fort under oaks. Laughter free. Touches easy. As sun dipped. Chill nipped. He draped the wool over us. You're shivering. Voice warm. Arms home. I leaned in. Lucky for me. I've got you. Kiss deepened. World narrowing to heartbeat sync. No storm. Just us flawed. Fierce. Found. But high points plummet. October brought the gale. Anonymous emails hit. More pics. Twisted narrative. Dylan the predator. Austin the victim. Zenda? Evan's doing. Traced to a prison buddy. Legal hell ensued. Restraining orders. Town meetings where Harlan pushed decency laws. Council balked. But stress mounted. Dylan testified calm. Me beside. This is our life. Back off. Victory Pyrrhic. Bruises lingered. Jake cracked under pressure. Relapsing into old slurs during a drunken call. You're ruining him. Austin. I hung up. Gutted. Brother lost again. Dylan found me at the river. Skipping stones like kid angry. Let him go. We can't save everyone. We talked till dark. Boundaries. Therapy tags. He started sessions too, unpacking city scars. My rural roots. Depth grew. Love matured. Less fairy dust. More forge fire. Thanksgiving tested kin. His folks flew in, starchy but trying. Toasting to unexpected families. Mine countered with turkey tails. Dad's jokes landing soft. Awkward? Hell yes. But bridges built. Tentative. Winter whispered closure. Evan's scheme crumbled. Feds nabbed his accomplice. Charges stacking. Marco surfaced, remorseful, offering testimony for leniency. We declined. Dylan, Karma's chef. Not ours. New Year's Eve. Square party. Fireworks over the mill. Now boutique bustling. We danced slow to country croon. Townies averting eyes or nodding gruff. Jake showed, sober, hugging stiff. Missed you idiots. Forgiveness. Earned slow. Spring 2026 dawn promise. My first solo exhibit, Chicago Gallery. Dylan beaming front row. Proud doesn't cover it. Back home, we broke ground. Tiny house on Bluff's edge. Our haven. Hammer swings synced. Sweat shared. No tidy bow. Fights flare, his impatience. My doubts. But we choose daily. Coffee runs. Late sketches. That blanket ritual. Willow Creek evolves grudging. Pride events tentative. But flags fly. The hook? That rainy bar night lingers. But so does the pull after him dropping the bag. Arms open. Shivering without you. I'm not anymore. We're each other's warmth. In a world that chills easy. And damn, it feels like forever.